Well, guys, it's about 6 o'clock in the evening, and we're going to start a video here. We're just trying to decide on what we're going to build, as we have too many projects on the run right now. I think we're going to start with our TRX4 Tarantula spider. It's one of those things. So we're going to go ahead and get the parts all dished out, and we're going to probably do this in a couple of segments through the next couple of days. I'm going to be filming it and then putting it together for you guys to see, so this is just what you're seeing right now.
Title music.
If you want this truck, subscribe to win it. Once we hit 10,000, I'm going to pick one lucky winner to receive this vehicle. After that, we're going to continue to give away vehicles and more products. So please go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and we'll get to the fun.
Oh, yeah.
Alright. So we've got a few things. We already have the body, and I've done the shocks and mounted them. I'm probably going to have to put some spacers on them depending. We've got our wheels and our axles. But we had a few things come in today. Sorry if I'm getting away from the camera. I really should be wearing my portable mic. Got a few things here. So we got some drive shafts, we got some underdrive gears, overdrive gears, the skid plate. What are these now? So that's the underdrive. So we're going to put that into the rear axle, and I might put the overdrive into the front axle depending. First of all, we're going to need a skid plate. We are going to need axles. And we will be tallying up what I did spend on this in order to make it work. I did a little bit of a budget build. And when I'm doing my builds, I will be going over how much I did actually spend on them. These are overdrive gears for the stock transmission, so that's going to be for the other build. Now we also have our ESC and our transmission and our motor. I love that color that they've given it. It just looks so awesome. So that's a really nice looking motor. I really like that. What do you guys think? So in order to run this motor, you actually do need the 370 transmission from INJORA. So you can't run the stock transmission. It won't work. And INJORA is not going to be making a motor mount to do a swap. So you will need this transmission in order for it to work. As you can see here, you have your holes, and then that works directly with this. So bam, just like that. Pretty nice. Really like that. So I'm going to put this together, and I'll be right back in 2 seconds. Alright, so this is interesting. I see that there's grease on this gear here. Right there. But I do not see grease on any of the other gears in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and probably just smear some of this stuff. Yeah, it looks like they've put a goop on there, but they should have probably put that goop on a different gear, because that one, yeah, that looks like it's gonna be running your pinion gear. So that's interesting. So whoever put this together obviously had greased the wrong one. Oh, you guys can see that. All right, I've gone ahead and put the proper amount of gear or gear grease on there. I used a ceramic gear grease as that was already on there. So I just used up a little bit I had left from a drift car build. And yeah, it should work quite nicely. Also, the world's smallest grub screw ever. I don't know if we can even see that. That is like super tiny. They actually gave, that's how small they are. They gave us 3, I guess just in case you open the pack and you accidentally drop them everywhere. Yeah, that's the smallest grub screw I've ever seen in my entire life. So, I'm gonna actually seat the pinion pretty much flush with the output shaft on the motor and see if that's going to be about where we need to put it. Problem is with these, you gotta put it on from the inside, so it's going to be quite finicky, I think. Okay, so in fact, don't seat it like that. It needs to be down much lower. So we're going to put that all the way down to the bar here, right there, bing bing, as the grub screw is coming into contact. So that's the lowest point it can go right there. It won't cause any issues. And then you can put that in and that should work. All right, so after getting the pinion in, keep your bolts, your screws, a little bit loose, because what will end up happening, you want all your gears to be on this side, which is the deep size of the transmission case. When you put it on, the reason why you want this to be loose is when you put this on, you want all the gears to fit into place. If that happens and you got everything on there and it's spinning freely while being up against the gear, you've got it in position. Okay, so once you've found the position, take the cover off again, tighten those 2 screws, and then go ahead and put the cover back on. That way, that will ensure that you've got the proper mesh, and be sure that you're turning it and you don't want it to stick. It should be spinning quite freely, and it should work quite well. So once you've done that, then go ahead and seal it up. Okay, next we're going to install the drive shafts onto the transmission. The motor faces frontwards, and your shortest drive shaft will go on the front. At least for my build it will. So that's what we're going to be doing here. Alright, so we got our transmission and drive shafts in. With these drive shafts, I don't know if it's the same on the TRX4M, but these ones have a larger output shaft on the axle. So be careful when you're doing that, and they have a smaller output shaft on the transmission. It's probably the same on the 4M, but I have not worked on that one yet, and it'll be curious to find out what happens. So before I end up mounting this into the Tarantula, we're going to take the pinion and the ring gear out, and we're going to put in the over and the underdrive gears in, and then we will attach our drive shafts. So I'm not sure what the percentage is on the over and underdrive, but we will find out. I think the underdrive, let's see here, is a 12 and 26 tooth. So that is our, that's our overdrive. So it's a 12 and 26, and our underdrive
is a 12 and 22. And it looks like the stock gearing is a 24. So yeah, 12 and 22, so that's just under half. And 26. Anyway, we'll work that out after.
Alright, so next we've got our axles. And I've taken the tires off these. So these were the axles I bought. I believe they were $55 after my discounts and the sale that was on AliExpress. They're all brass, so the whole thing's brass, and bearings throughout. So we're going to take these apart. We're going to install the over and underdrive gears, and we're going to actually take a look at the internals, so we'll be right back. Okay, so here we have inside of the portal gears. So you see there, pretty standard. Everything was lubed well, which was nice. It's always good to see lube when you buy stuff. So that's the internals for that. And yes, in fact, there is grease in there as well. So that's good to see that as well. Okay, so these are not helical gears. The upgraded ones that I'm going to be using are helical, so that's going to be another upgrade on top of that. Alright, so we got it back together. Everything's good. I am going to put a small, very thin shim there on that. I did notice when I attached this particular drive shaft, it was a little bit gritty. After attaching it though, it seems like now it should be okay. We'll give it a little go. Yeah, but it's much better. Before I was getting more grit. Alright. Just spun off our hex there, but we got extra pins, so alright. Alright, we got the front axle put together, and everything's running nice and smooth now. Did have a little bit of a difficulty aligning everything in there. Turns out I had an issue with one of the CVD pins, was causing it to get caught up, but we've resolved that problem now. So now we can go ahead and put the links together. Find another pin here because that one's gone somewhere. Oh, there it is right there. Aha! That's why you have a black mat. Yeah, when I deal with stuff this small, typically I like to have a little piece of paper towel. This helps adhere everything. This stuff is so small. It holds it very, very well, and allows you to see the bolts better. Because my mat's black, obviously, it can be a little bit troublesome to see it. Alright, next on the agenda, we have our brass links. Now I paid, I think $17 minus discount, so I think like $14. These are for TRX4M, not made by Traxxas, made by some company, I'm sure. But we're gonna try them out and see how they work. Comes with all the hardware. As you can see here, your ball ends, and of course your brass links. Now these are all high clearance. Not really seeing crazy bends in these, so we're just gonna go with that. So I'm gonna do all the boring part, put that together. All right, guys, I've gone ahead and put the links in. We've got all the shocks up. I am going to have to change up a few things. I need to widen the holes here because the geometry of the shocks is not very good. You can see how they're sticking, and that's because the shocks are pinching. So once I move them outwards just a little bit, they should have no problem with recoiling. I did have that same issue on the back, as you can see in there. I don't know if we can see that there. There's a bit of a space between the bridge I put in there. So this is actually going to be a low LCG stance. I've lowered the height by raising the shocks, and these pieces I just happen to have from another vehicle. Now those are like tow hook anchors for a bumper, and I don't know if that came off of an element maybe, but get some pretty good clearance here. I do have a little bump here, so you can see the shocks don't fully compress. I might drill a different hole just to get that articulation that I want. So a couple of little bugs to fix, and we should be on our way there. We do have our INJORA brushless ESC. This is a 32-bit ESC for running outrunners. It does come with your programmer, and there are programs that you can download in order to program that. I already have one on my computer from my Rhino Crawler ESC, and it does come with extra bits here. So these, it's got a Traxxas plug, and it's got a JST plug here, and of course we have our zip ties. So now that I've got a nice controller, I can go ahead and change out my batteries plug in and get a XT30 on it, which I already have in my box over there. But that'll be awesome. So we're gonna go throw that in there, and we're gonna see what space I got left for the battery and stuff like that, because it's getting pretty packed in there. Might have to put the battery in the back, I think. Yeah, probably put the battery in the back. The ESC doesn't need to go in the back. Or I could put the battery in the front. We'll see. We'll see.
Alright guys, well I think I'm going to call it a night for this evening. We're going to go ahead and try and get this finished up pretty quick. But I am tired. It was a long work day, and an even longer work day at home. Now I get to edit this and put it up for you guys. So happy Friday. Until next time.
Careful, guys.